Americans travel all over the world, and they meet people from all over the world, and sometimes they become friends with people from other parts of the world, or even have romantic interests. Some of those romantic interests can blossom into other things, including engagement and even marriage. If you've been engaged to a foreign citizen and you've gone home and they're still in the home country, you may wish to get a visa so that they can enter the United States and the two of you can carry out your plans to marry. That type of visa is commonly called a fiancé visa, but the actual letter for it is a K visa. The fiancé gets what's called a K1 visa. If your foreign fiancé has children of their own, those children would come as derivative beneficiaries on what are called K2 visas. Now the question is, how do you get a K visa? I can't put you guys through law school, but I can give you an outline of the process. As an American citizen who wants to get a visa issued to your foreign fiancé, you'd be the sponsor, and you'd have to do some things. You'd have to submit an application to have a K visa issued to your foreign fiancé. In an application for a K visa, you're saying to the government, I'm an American citizen, I'm engaged to this foreign person, we plan on getting married, please issue my foreign fiancé a visa to legally enter the United States so we can carry out our plan to marry. There's some things you have to prove. Obviously, you have to prove you are an American citizen, and you do that with so we have a passport, a birth certificate in one of the United States, and if you were not born in the United States and don't have a passport, but are a citizen, your naturalization papers. The next thing you'd have to prove is that you are, in fact, engaged. You could do that a number of ways. If your fiancé is from one of the countries where rings are traditionally exchanged, a receipt for an engagement ring, that's pretty good proof. They're kind of expensive. People don't buy those just for fun. Pictures from an engagement party, exchanged chats and video, Skype, and things like that, where you guys had talked about getting married or proposed. Another thing you have to do is prove that you intend to marry if this visa is granted. Simply being engaged, some people are engaged for a very long period of time and never get married. So you'd want to file some proof that if this fiancé visa is issued, that the wedding would in fact, or is in fact planned to happen. And that could be something as simple as reciprocal statements of intention to marry, where you both file statements, I intend to marry this person. Other things could be like if you'd even hired a wedding planner, and those plans, those would be wonderful things, or rented a wedding hall. It doesn't have to be something as posh as using wedding planners. It could be a rental of a fire hall or a wedding facility. You also have to prove the ability to marry, and that means both fiancés have to prove that all prior marriages have been terminated. And that could be done with a divorce certificate or annulment certificate, or where a prior spouse has passed away, a death certificate showing that all prior marriages of both fiancés are over and they can actually get married if this visa is granted. That's about what you need from the U.S. citizen side. You'd file that stuff with the government. There's a filing fee involved. Right now it's $535. There's a plan in the works for that fee to increase next year. Once you submit all of that, you'll get a receipt for filing, and that is a date on which your filing was submitted. These used to go about 8 months. Now I'm seeing them go 12 and 13 months before the fiancé visa application is approved. But when it is approved, you, me, as your lawyer, and or your foreign spouse will be contacted by the government with further instructions. And that usually involves your foreign spouse having to do a little bit of legwork on the other end. The foreign spouse would have to have a medical examination from an immigration-approved doctor to make sure that your foreign spouse wasn't carrying any communicable diseases that would be dangerous if she were admitted in the United States. She has to prove that she's not inadmissible on medical grounds. Another thing that's required is police clearance. Again, your foreign fiancé will get instructions from the embassy or consulate on who to contact in his or her home country to get a police clearance. The final thing is that your foreign spouse can't be otherwise inadmissible, and that is a whole bunch of things, but he or she couldn't be for obviously a terrorist or someone who plans to overthrow the government or engage in polygamy, human or weapons trafficking. Any of that sort of stuff would render your foreign spouse inadmissible, even though he or she is engaged to you, an American citizen, and even though he or she passed all the other requirements of police and medical clearances and things of that nature. As a sponsor, you'll have to prove that you, the American citizen, have enough income to support yourself, everyone that's already dependent upon you, your foreign fiancé, and everyone that's dependent upon your foreign fiancé and is coming. So if your foreign fiancé is bringing his or her child, that would increase your family size by 2, and you have to prove that you make enough money to support your foreign fiancé and everyone else that's dependent upon you and everyone else that they're bringing to be dependent upon you, and 125% of the poverty guidelines. There's a form, I'll probably put it into this video, you look at it here. When your foreign fiancé has gotten the police and medical clearances, he or she can go online with the form DS-160, apply for that. She'll get an appointment for an interview at the consulate. The foreign fiancé should appear at the consulate at the time and date set forth for the interview and bring with themselves the police clearance, the medical clearance, originals of all documents, including the foreign fiancé's birth certificate and passport. You probably are wise to have mailed to your foreign fiancé in advance a copy of the tax returns you use to prove that you have enough income to support them and everybody else dependent upon you. And there'll be a short interview where the fiancé will be questioned about their intentions in the United States, how long they've known you, and things of that nature. If everything goes well, a K visa will be issued to your foreign fiancé and pasted in his or her passport by the embassy or consulate. That visa is good for 6 months. You can enter the U.S. at any time within 6 months after the visa is issued. Once your foreign fiancé enters the United States, they have 90 days to get married, and they have to get married to you. You're the one who sponsored it. So they could get married to someone else, but that wouldn't satisfy the K visa. Once you've actually done the marriage, another process, which is kind of similar, starts, except your foreign fiancé is now in the United States, and the next thing you'd apply for would be a green card. So that your foreign fiancé, now your spouse, could stay with you here in the United States and live as spouses.